Wager Talk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. NFL college football is almost here, Dan. Happy Monday. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was terrific, man. I mean, you and I are fresh off an insane cricket win. I'm sure everyone else was sweating cricket over the weekend, right? That's the point that we're at. We didn't have to sweat at all. Rocking chair winner, but what we got coming, it's Monday, folks. We're amped. I'm fresh off of doing the opening line report with Teddy, so I'm dialed in and ready to go. We got your Wager Talk Today play of the day. Gianni the Greek is here. Bill Krackomberger is here. Steve Merril is here with some MLB winners for you, folks. So do not go anywhere. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe while you're hanging out. But Andy, it's 40 seconds into the show. That means it's Wager Talk Today play of the day time. We're heading to the hardwood here, brother. What do we got?
Yeah, we got Olivia Miles, who's just been a revelation. They're going to make documentaries about why she was not drafted first in this draft and why the girlfriend of one of the players was drafted first. But anyway, that's besides the point. We got to make money off of Olivia Miles here. Over 1.5 made 3-pointers is going to be the play. She's been absolutely fantastic recently. In this particular prop, she's gone over in 8 out of the last 10 games. The attempts have been going up as the season has gone on. And she's a rookie, so she started off the year not shooting the ball that great, but she's gaining a lot of confidence. Beginning of the year, she was getting around 4 attempts per game. Now she's up to 6 attempts. She's playing Golden State, which is one of the best, if not the best defensive team in the league. She's played them 3 times this year. She's gone over in 2 of those games. Most recently, she went 3 of 5. She is one of the hottest hands, if not the hottest hand in all of WNBA. Fun to watch. Not enough people are talking about her because they're talking about other things, but this is an awesome game tonight. Lynx, Valkyries. These are 2 title contenders. I love the way she's playing. Let's take her over 1.5 made threes.
What else could they be talking about, Andy? I mean, come on. It's all about basketball. That's all. I know. I just wanted to see if I could poke the bear a little bit there to start. By the way, folks, Wager Talk Today play of the day after we cashed in on Friday on our UFC plays. 50 and 39. So that's a free play for you right here at the top. 50 and 39. Trackable here on the show.
Let's get into some news and notes. Your Phillies, an insane win yesterday. If you didn't see it, they're down 4-0. Looks like the Phillies money line is over. Phillies run line is done. The under, easy cash, and then walking it off in insane fashion. All of a sudden, the over hits. Phillies run line, Phillies money line, down 4-0, going to the bottom of the night. They score 6. That was bonkers, man. If you had the under, I don't know what to tell you.
That's a generational bad beat because it's also the first Phillies walk-off in over 3 years, Andy. 2023 against the Dodgers in June, I think, was the last time they walked one off. Yeah, that's a tough one to swallow. Now the Phillies have won 9 straight, only 2.5 game back on Atlanta. Now they're doing what they do, Andy. They're getting hot, and they're going to peak way too early, get all of Philly excited. Oh, it's Red October. And then the bats will go silent in the playoffs. It seems like a tale as old as time and a song as old as rhyme, Andy.
Well, I didn't even realize this. Phillies were down to their last strike 5 times in the night. Yeah. Oh, my God. That makes it even
it was insane.
That is bonkers. A couple of plays I was looking at in MLB. This Nationals game, you got Cavalli going up against Feltner. I'm looking at that Nationals team total over 2.5 in the first 5 innings. Feltner has given up over 3 or more runs in 7 out of his last 8 starts. I was looking at that one. And then we have a 6.5 total here, Dan. We have a 6.5 total, and I got to be honest, I like the over. Wheeler versus Gilbert. Give me the over. Gilbert has given up 3, 0, 2, 3, 3, 3, and 4 in his last 7 starts. Your boy Wheeler, 2, 3, 4, 0, 5, and 2 the last 6 starts, and it's 6.5. I don't know, man. I think there's a little bit too much respect for these pitchers. Give me the over, the 6.5. What do you think?
Well, and the other thing is when the Phillies bats are hot, the Phillies bats are hot, man. So you're talking about a team. Yes, it was struggle bus until that 9th inning, but these series against the Cardinals, they were just absolutely raking. So now that they're away from home, does that continue? I would agree with you there, though, Andy. 6.5. that thing should probably be sitting like 7.5.
Too low.
So it does feel like a little bit too much Wheeler love, especially with Wheeler heading on the highway.
And just a itty bitty little advantage that you get here. If it's 3-3 and they go to extra innings, you're going to get over. It's not a ton of thing, but that option gets you there.
Great point.
Yeah, great game tonight. Valkyries Lynx minus 4.5. No opinion on that. The over under is 160.5, which is insanely low. And guess what? I ain't taking an over in that one. No. Pass on that one. The Dreamer all the way up to minus 10.5. I just did a same game parlay video on the WagerTalk YouTube channel if you want some information about that one. I'm not taking the plus 10.5, but we've already missed the line move. This was 9.5 just this morning. Now it's up to 10.5, but the Sparks are in lose now mode, and the Dream have been absolutely rolling. So other news and notes, we'll go to NFL. Holy cow, Ashton Genty, fantasy owners. Oh my God. He gets carried off of practice. The players are kneeling and praying, and then it turns out he has a sprained ankle.
That's a tough look.
Listen, I was an absolute dick in my fantasy league. No players are on waivers, so I saw it and I went and grabbed Mike Washington out before the Ashton Genty owner could get him.
Well done.
Complete
Classy
asshole move. Terrible move. The Seahawks lose their second round pick to a broken ankle. I was watching that live. That really, really sucked. He was looking really good. And all right, this Browns, we got to talk about the Browns. They have announced officially they're going to start Deshaun Watson, not Shedeur Sanders, and I don't get it, man. The money, I guess, is the big driving force, but this guy is being booed mercilessly, and on top of that, he sucks at playing quarterback. What happened to this guy? I know you can't give the fans what they want, but I mean, come on, man. Shedeur he gave that interview of a lifetime on the sideline during the game. He's better than Watson. I don't get it, man. I don't care how much he's making. You park it, man. You're not playing.
Yeah, here's the thing: is with Deshaun Watson, do a lot of people think he's an awful person? Yes. Does he kind of come off as a dick in press conferences? Yes. But you also have to admit, Andy, he's also horrible at football. So there's at least that redeeming quality. All joking aside, I was talking about this with Teddy before we went on air for opening line report. And the Browns, they were playing their starters against the Buffalo Bills second and third stringers, and they couldn't muster anything up. So it seems like it will be a Cleveland Brown type season. So you can go from Watson to Shedeur. Is it as easy to go from Shedeur to Watson? There will be a quarterback switch at some point, but just think, you have the young guy who then you're taking out for the veteran who everyone likes. I feel like it's much easier. Oh, the season's going sideways. We're going to blame it on Watson, and then Shedeur Sanders can come in with zero expectations because we've already lost the season. I think that probably has more to do with it. Money, number one, and number two, it's much easier to go from the old vet that everyone hates to the new guy that there's some buzz around than go the other way, which eventually there will be a quarterback switch.
I would make the case that you start Shedeur and it's a no-lose situation because if he's awful, you leave him in and you tank and you get a top draft pick. If he's good, you got your guy. So, and they're losing the fans, man. I mean, the fans are always, the fans are going to be there. But I would also like to point out there are people in sports that have done a lot worse than Deshaun Watson. But as long as they were winning, the fans embraced him. It is absolutely true. Look at the coach of the New England Patriots. You think he still has that job if he's coming off of a 3-14 season? No way.
Great point.
No way.
That's a great point, Andy.
So
winning cures all, even things that society says, hey, no, we're out on. If you win, it's all good. It's all good.
And I got to ask Gianni about this, but we had two. So NFL, NBA, these team sports, you have to put an injury report in, right? Well, the individual player sports don't have that. And I just misunderstood. Okay, Rob. Listen, two instances of individual players whose sport embraces betting did not report injuries that it would have been really nice to know. Scotty Scheffler plays awful to start the tournament. Then he comes out and announces after the tournament, oh yeah, I had hand, foot, and mouth disease, and my hands and feet were covered in blisters. What are you making out with strippers? How do you?
Isn't that like a Isn't that happen to babies? Don't
the
babies
1800s
get hand, foot, mouth? Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got a young kid, but anyway, so we didn't know that, and he was terrible. And then Fluffy Hernandez in the main event of UFC, he loses, comes out. Oh, I had a shoulder injury, and I took a numbing shot the day before the fight. Didn't tell anybody.
Yeah,
so
it should be disclosed.
Let's bring in Gianni here. Gianni, wouldn't it be nice to know some of this stuff with these individual sports? How come we have it in team sports, but we don't have it in individual sports? Fluffy just gets a numbing shot in his shoulder. Wouldn't you have liked to have known that?
For sure. But I mean, that's the goal of the handicapper, right? To uncover that information. And if you do, it's not factored into the price. What I'm saying is with the NFL, yeah, we get the injury report, but it's factored into the price that the odds maker has it too. So it really doesn't give you an edge at the end of the day, unless you got out ahead of that information. You kind of knew they were injured when everyone else didn't. So, I mean, there's two sides to that coin. Again, obviously, if I'm betting them, I want that information, but I also got to keep in mind, knowing that information, that price would be different. You know what I mean? If it's well known, that's the other side of that coin. But yeah, for sure. I mean, again, there should be a protocol that everyone has to follow, so that at least there are standard rules involved. You know what I mean? That's the key. So you don't have, they're doing this over here, and that over there. Like, it should be uniform across at least every sport. If not, every market, because from the betting perspective, they could do it however they want. No matter what the sport's doing, the book could do what they want. But yeah, I think that's the way to do it.
I'm not asking for them to disclose their physicals, but could you let me know if your hands and feet are covered in blisters if you're a golfer? like it's kind of important. I don't know if you know hands and feet. Hands and feet, pretty much. Reactions to preseason over the weekend. A lot of the line moves did not come to fruition. Some of these line moves, it just didn't happen. So what's your take so far?
Preseason has been really good. I got robbed last night with that over. But when you're on the right side, that's what I always tell bettors, grade your bet afterwards. Be honest. Like, a lot of times you got to look at the box score and determine you got lucky. Other times you determine you got unlucky. Other times you placed a good bet because you got closing line value, so you had an edge going in. Do that. Make sure you take the time after the result is in, to look backwards. Most just forget about it and move on. It's always in front, always looking forward, always looking forward, always looking forward, which is a good thing to do. But unless you look back, you can't correct. There's nothing, you're never correcting. And for me, that's what I'm always trying to do. And I understand that how the thought, like, the line moves didn't do well, but you got to remember, in preseason, there's so much two-way action because the line moves so significantly. And it's not even the same group hitting up a middle or manipulation. You're not manipulating the NFL. Good luck with that. What it is a difference of opinion based on a line move. And when a team goes from -1 to -4, a lot of times the value is now on side B +4. And even though this group laid -1 over here and placed a good bet, at +4, it could be a good bet as well. And I saw a lot of that in the preseason. In fact, this last weekend in the Steam sheet, I had to go back so many times and update different crew bet this one earlier at that number to let them know, like, this is two-way action. Like, there's are sharp money on over 36, under 38. -1.5, +3. Like, they're on both sides of a lot of these. And it makes sense because it's the preseason where power ratings don't matter because you can't power rate quick enough. Value over replacement player, you just can't do the math fast enough based on who's in the game at the time. So power ratings become worthless, and you're more or less betting on information that you think's not factored into the betting line because it's preseason, or your handicap. Like, you know what I mean? You're watching live and you see something, or beforehand. You uncover information that you think's not factored in their betting line. Like this coach, he actually does want this game for whatever reason. That's what the bets are in preseason. A lot of it's quarterback rotation based. These players are playing through the first quarter. These guys are playing through the second quarter. These guys are playing into the second half. It's all the reasoning behind the bets is that. And that comes at different times and that changes, where we're 2 weeks away from 9 out of 10 moves being strictly power rated related. We have team A should be a 3-point favorite. You put up 4.5, we're taking the dog. It's as simple as that. And then later in the week, you start handicapping based on injury reports, recency bias, other factors for the individual game. But I think that's the biggest takeaway I'm seeing in the preseason, that a lot of recreational bettors are trying to confirm the sharp side, and the sharp side is all four. They're on the over, the under, team A and team B, just at very different numbers. And again, it's the difference of the preseason to the regular season. Don't let that discourage anybody that's reading markets or anything like that, or fear you're drawing wrong conclusions. It's hard to draw conclusions with confidence when you're seeing significant line moves like that. We're looking at an inefficient market, and this is the result of it. This is the exact conversation you should be having when you have an inefficient market, and that's what the preseason is, man. Hopefully, when the dust settles, you've turned a little bit of profit heading into the regular season, or you didn't get too far behind going into the regular season, and maybe you picked up a nugget or two going forward. But more times than not, you're going to package everything that happened up and throw it away. And the only thing that matters is, did I pick up a couple units or lose a few units? You're not going to really get anything from the preseason that's going to help you in the regular. I know everybody's saying they're playing minuscule minutes, and the sample size is this small, so you're not grasping anything.
Yeah, what was it? They said the Buccaneers were like, "Oh, playing the starters," and Baker was like 204 for like 8 yards or something.
Exactly.
That was the starters playing. So, Gianni, I gotta tell you, you inadvertently insulted me. I don't take that lightly. I had the under last night.
Oh, good for you.
I'll take it.
It looked like the right side, not closing line value or anything like that. Meaning you put up 26 points in the first half. You should be able to put up half of that in the next 30 minutes. By the way the game played, but with it being preseason, you got to expect the backups sometimes aren't going to score at all. That I actually was the beneficiary the week prior of that, when Vegas put up 40 points in the first half and couldn't put up 7 in the second half. So I've felt both sides of that coin. Please don't take it as a knock. You placed a bad bet. Because if anything, I think you were the one with the closing line value on your side. You probably placed a better bet than I did. I just feel that at halftime, I thought that I was so far ahead. I should have got the money.
I had 2 games this weekend where I had unders and I thought they were dead, and then they just fizzled out in the second half for the fourth quarter. So, you move on. So we got a couple of WNBA games and we got MLB today. What are you seeing today? Loaded MLB slate.
WNBA quickly, Golden State plus 6.5, 6 and 5.5, and also 162.5. And then they laid the 9 with Atlanta and also went under 183.5. So both unders, the dog in Golden State, the favorite in Atlanta. We're coming down the end of Major League Baseball. And remember, with football here, football is here. College football begins on Saturday. A lot changes in the MLB baseball betting market. Keep that in mind as you're following line moves, and keep the futures. If you're going to bet any futures, now's the time, because once you get into next month or like that final, those lines are so bet into shape. You're better off just betting the series probably and rolling it over. So if you're going to bet any futures, World Series futures, you probably want to do that now. We're on Tampa Bay in the American League and Milwaukee in the National League. Those are the 2 horses we are going to be riding through the playoffs. Now, today's Major League Baseball action. Like Andy said, there is a lot of it. And it'll be interesting to see what the public does because the Sharps got out early. 952 under 9 and 8.5 Colorado, Washington. 953 the Cubbies up to -130. 955 Pittsburgh down to +105. 957 Cincy to -140. 957 under Cincy 8. 960 Detroit to +120. 961 under 8.5 Texas White Sox. 963 Cleveland -150 and the under 8. Minnesota up to -140, 965 over 9.5, 10, 10.5. Minnesota Athletics expecting a lot of runs. And finally, they didn't get there for me yesterday at plus money, but they're coming back with Seattle at +110 tonight also. So a lot of sharp action, a lot of overnights hit in Major League Baseball.
Do you happen to have your college football power ratings available?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, the college football rankings are, we don't in the betting markets, we don't really pay attention to it, but I was getting upset that my Indiana Hoosiers sweeping the board last year, winning the championship, they only come out ranked 6th. So I'm curious how your rankings and ratings mix with these with what NCAA
second best. I have Indiana as the second best team in the country. The only team that should be favored over Indiana is Ohio State, and I would make them about a 1.5 point favorite max on a neutral field. But in fact, I actually have Indiana winning almost a quarter game more than Ohio State. They'll have the easier strength of schedule. And actually, we have them projected to possibly win, a quarter game more. Like, we don't have anyone winning 11 games. The most we have is Notre Dame, just shy of 11 games. And then right behind them is Indiana at about 10.5 games, and then Ohio State right behind them. But power rated wise, Ohio State's number 1, and they're about a point and a half from Indiana as we head into the regular season. And it's all because Ohio State has the defense, where with Indiana, it's the offensive side of the balls where they'll have the advantages, and there's just more variance in offense than defense. That's why. But they're very much 1A, 1B. And I wouldn't be too sure if Ohio State came out as a favorite that you wouldn't see a bunch of sharp money taking Indiana at +1.5.
Well, I follow those two teams closely, and my God, is Ohio State loaded. Oh my God, are they are stacked. You can't find a position that they're not loaded at. So,
and of course, Mendoza, you know what I mean? Everybody, again, and he obviously means a lot. He's the number 1 draft pick. But I think we're looking at an overreaction as far as the rankings go. And that's what you get from the rankings. That's why we're able to make so much money in college football, because the rankings are going to be based on records. Like I said, at week 6, look at the top 5 teams, 6 teams, 7 teams, 8 teams. They're all going to be 6-0. It doesn't matter if their strength of schedule was nothing but cupcakes. If you're undefeated after week 5 or 6, you're ranked. And that's where you're able to take advantage, because some teams just, they're not worthy of it. And what usually happens is they step up, play a good team, and get annihilated.
Absolutely.
And we're able to make some money.
Listen, Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, Indiana, Miami, Texas. It is top heavy. There are some loaded teams this year, so it should be fun. Gianni, what do you got? We got college football coming up. We got NFL preseason, but we still got good stuff we have up for everybody.
And a college football package is already up for Saturday. Already released a 4% play. Rest assured, we'll have more action for college football. Again, finished number 1 in profit 2 of the last 3 years, and only getting stronger with those power ratings, being able to decipher the data. Future packages are out. I bet again this morning. I got pissed on that loss last night, but more importantly, seeing how well Tampa Bay and Milwaukee are sitting in Major League Baseball, I felt real confident in our NFL futures and college football futures. I bet a little bit more on those. Prices are still really good. Those are out, as well as season win totals. I'm not sure I'll have a steam sheet today. It depends if I'm able to confirm, because I think we're hit another one yesterday. So over the last 38, we're at 74, 75%. I stayed real selective with those. I'll see what I can do. Otherwise, it's on to Tuesday's action. I'll be at Contender, so I won't be here, but I will be back later in the week. And best of luck to all as we await the start of college football, baby.
All right, Gianni, I'm going to ask for a favor for next week's Contender Series. We have one of our own VIPs who's going to be in attendance celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary. So if you have time, I'll get their seats, and if you could go say hi to them.
I'd love to.
Been a long time. Yeah, they'll be there next week. So awesome stuff. Thank you, Gianni. Appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. Good luck.
Yeah, he mentioned Contender Series. Dan, do you know the fighter Frank Mir? Does that name ring a bell?
Yeah, Frank Mir, long time. He's like one of the better known fighters from back in the day when I was dialed into UFC.
Yeah, his daughter is on Contender Series tomorrow.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
is she a beast?
Yeah, minus 2100 beast.
Wow.
Yeah. She's only 23. She's a grappler wrestler. No surprise. She's got to work on her striking, but she's gonna maul some people like the one tomorrow. So I'll go over Contender Series tomorrow. I mean, these lines are out of control. You've got a minus 2100, a minus 850, and a minus 920. Like Contender Series is just getting a little ridiculous here. So, there was one thing we can ask Bill about this one as well. But Johnny Detroit's been kind of doing some internal, like giving us tips and everything. And one thing that he's been preaching recently that I try to stick to is just being as niche and specific as possible. But we're not going to be experts in every single sport. So with MLB this year, I've really toned it back. All I do is props, and all I do is pitcher props. So not only am I just doing props, I don't even do hitting props. We have one best bet that is up tonight. It is a pitching prop. I haven't had one in a few days, so pretty excited about that. That's the only client play that we have up. Lots of specials. The buy 3 days, get 3 free. We've only got about a week left of that one. So if you're interested in cashing in on MLB prop, that's the only thing that we have up. And we're buckling up for $5 Tuesday. Tomorrow we'll have Contender Series and others. So, yeah, we're coming off a cricket win, Dan. We're coming off an NFL preseason win. But we got to bring in Bill and get his thoughts here on certain things. No cricket plays from you yesterday, Bill. I'm guessing.
No. I skipped the cricket this week.
He thought about
I don't even know.
it. Yeah.
I don't even know what cricket is, to be honest with you. Is that something they play in India? Is that this?
They play it all over the world, but yeah, India. They're down in the Caribbean right now for the Caribbean Premier League. The biggest party in sports is what they call it, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Even if you don't know the rules, it's a blast. But it's super confusing to follow, so I won't even bore you.
I'm kind of in a bad mood, and Dan doesn't even know I'm in a bad mood at him a little bit. Yeah,
At me?
you don't know. Yeah, you don't know it. You don't know it yet. But,
What I got hit, Bill? What'd I do?
well, you're an Eagles fan, right? That's your team.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
It's my main character flaw, Bill.
Yeah. No, the preseason, I'm the only guy that listen, it sounds like it's great. Plus 1 point for units for the week. No, it's not. It's not great because I'm just usually destroy preseason. And I know we're up a little bit the first 2 weeks, but it just pissed off about the Eagles. They lost the last versus the Pats on a last minute drive. They lost their preseason game, 50 seconds left. I'm also mad at the Bucks. Didn't they have like a 69-yard field goal I read against them or something? It's like ridiculous. Just some good wins, and then like my assistant says to me, we had great wins and easy wins, especially the first week. We had some wins by like 20 and 15 points, and then your losses are just bad beats but I'm the one that always promotes, hey, you only look at your games from your eyes. So maybe it's not as bad as beats, because the other side could say, oh, well, these other things too, it should have been. But I actually watched a couple of those games. The information has been great as far as closing line value and line moves. Like I tell the clients, make sure you have your notifications on, because those lines are going to move in your favor. And I am probably the only guy in the whole entire industry that I will say get team X -1 when it's +1, because I know what it's good up until. So I know
Mhm.
that the line is good up until -1, even though you probably can get +1 right now. You can easily get pick 'em, but that's something I do with the clients too. But I'm really joking about being mad at that. I'm just an Eagles fan. I'm not me. I'm not a fan of any team, any player. I don't care about the players off the field. I don't care what they do. I don't want them to hurt no one else. But I'm just saying, like I am a giant fan of my bankroll, and my allegiance is
Yep.
always there. And
Well,
yeah,
Bill,
so
don't worry, because this week I'm going to actually make the trip down to the link for the Eagles preseason game on Friday. So I'll let them know that Bill Krackomberger ain't happy with them. Don't worry. I'll
gotta tell
straighten
you,
them out. I got your back.
if you're going down to the link, I know there's going to be crowds around Skinny Joey's, so maybe you're not going to get in there. Go to Angelo's on 9th, the greatest
Yep.
cheesesteak.
Great.
I think they're number 1 and number 2. They have good pizza too.
Easily the best cheesesteak, Bill, but also
Yeah.
arguably some of the best pizza you'll
Yeah, the
get in
pizza's good.
Philadelphia.
Pizza's
is at
very legit.
Angelo's. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some. I don't know. Dan, do you live within an hour's drive of there?
I'm about 45 minutes outside of Philly. I live in Reading, Pennsylvania. So about 45 minutes outside. We have Eagles season tickets. So I'm down there a good amount, man. So yeah, if you're ever in the Philly area, we'll be breaking some
I'm
bread.
I'm gonna be running around betting some NFL props this season there, for sure. So what's the closest casino to you?
Morgantown Casino is going to be the closest to me.
What's the name of it? Is that the name of it? Morgantown?
Yeah, so it's Hollywood Morgantown Casino.
I never even heard of it. Oh, you're all right. Well, good.
Trust me,
Yeah.
not many folks have heard of the Morgantown Casino, but you can
Never
get
heard
down
of
there,
that.
Bill. I can tell you.
Wow.
I can tell you that much.
Okay. Reading. I'll just give you a history of Reading. Reading had one of the most unbelievable. Is that where your family's from, Dan?
Yeah.
Your whole
So
life?
we're originally from Buffalo, but we've been living in Reading basically my whole life. So yeah.
Okay.
Reading
Well, Reading had one of the most unbelievable crap games back 50 years, 60 years ago. They had a red light district. They used to have the luggers that used to go around to different towns like Philadelphia, South Philly, and bring them back to Reading. They went all over the place there. Luggers are guys that would pick up high roller gamblers. This is way before Atlantic City was there. So this is actually back in the late 50s, 60s, even up into the 70s. Reading had if you can ask your family or something, I guarantee that someone knows about the red light district and the crap games in Reading. That was a big, highly mafia controlled area back in the day. And I'm a mafia buff. I love that stuff about Buffalino and how he controlled a lot of things all throughout Scranton and those little towns there, Pittston and Reading was one of the towns mentioned in a lot of the historical journeys. I did not know you lived there, so perfect.
That's
perfect
why.
area.
But see, this is the thing.
God, yeah.
Bill, you are an encyclopedia of knowledge. The fact that we throw out Reading, Pennsylvania, Bill's like, let me tell you some history on Reading, PA.
Yeah,
incredible.
I didn't know you lived there. I had no
one
clue.
Of a kind.
Listen, all those areas there, Hazleton and stuff, they all had these red light districts, and they were all crap games and prostitution and a lot of things. There was a big areas all throughout. I'll tell you what, all the way up to Buffalo, all the way up to where was of course the famous meeting in Appalachian and stuff. There's some great stories there. But anyway, I'd love to talk the mafia talk all day long. The history of it, and I don't glamorize those guys either. I'm just saying that I don't want kids to look up to that kind of lifestyle, but I do.
Well, Bill, instead of we won't pivot to mafia, we might as well just stick with the prostitution talk, because this just got posted. That the owner of the 49ers, Jed York, Ohio, a prostitution hotbed, apparently.
Youngstown.
Yeah.
And by the way, those towns, Youngstown, Steubenville, they were giant red light districts. Lots of I can't believe that. Now, he's from Youngstown. I don't know much about him, but I know that the owner of the team had to give up the team. The mall builder there, he gave up. This has to be one of his relation. Has to be like his son-in-law, his grandson-in-law, something like that, because he's been running the team for years. Eddie DeBartolo was the DeBartolo, I think that was his name. He used to come to Vegas all the time, and I think he lives down in Florida now. He's got to be in his upper 80s, and this must have something to do with him, because I know the daughter had the team after he had to give up the team. But yeah, no, and I seen that, and and it's just like the owner of the New England Patriots,
Yeah.
which is he was more in the media, and now listen. It, this I don't know. They're doing it in their personal, private time. How can you not have your own? I don't even know. I'm a germaphobe, so I don't even go to strip clubs. But how can you not even have your own private girl set up or something? Like, what are you doing, walking into a whorehouse or something? Or anyway, it's just crazy subject. Speaking of that, on my podcast this past week, great podcast with me and John Orlando. I put it on Twitter yesterday. It's kind of a bust balls podcast, fooling around, breaking balls, but being serious too. And we talk all different things: Vegas lifestyles, gambling. And then I have a serious conversation every once in a while, like I had with George Martirano and Al Scally, which, by the way, Al from over there in Hazleton. That was a good podcast about 2 weeks ago. This week I had Jay Cohen on a separate podcast. Jay I've known of for 30 years, met him about 25 years ago. Jay used to own World Sports Exchange, and his whole legal battle basically was railroaded, and wrote a book now about it. The book, people started telling me, different people don't even know each other, how good the book was. So I reached out to someone and got a hold of him. And Jay lives now across the pond there, and he came on a podcast this week. We asked him about 25 questions. Johnny Detroit asked him a bunch of questions, and anyone from the old school and anyone that just wants to learn about the history of the offshore sports betting. He was literally the Kalshis and the Poly markets before there was Kalshi and Poly market. These guys weren't typical bookmakers. These guys were guys that were off of the stock exchange, and I think specifically the San Francisco stock exchange. Very, very sharp guys. And unfortunately, in the end, they were on 60 Minutes. The next day, they had tens of thousands of customers. And unfortunately, a couple of years later, they actually had such bad business. I'm going to just say probably had some bad business practices where credit card processors, they weren't up on keeping up on where the money was going. They actually went out of business. So and the day they went out of business, Jay's partner, who started the firm, the guy that was really the genius behind it, took a gun and killed himself in the office, and left Steve and Hayden, which was a minority partner, there. And yeah, so Jay, living abroad now, had to give up his U.S. citizenship. Spent a couple of years in jail here. He fought. That his bets were being taken in Antigua. It's still a thing. So when you place a bet in the United States, it hasn't been proven. Is the bet placed in your house? I'll just use you there in Reading, or is it placed in cyberspace, or is it placed in the place like Antigua that actually accepted the bet? So unfortunately, Jay had to go to jail for a couple of years, and this was a really good Q&A with him. So you guys want to catch up? You have a couple of things to watch there. Follow my podcast every week. We film right live, right from the heart of the Circus Sportsbook. We talk about the contest, what's going on. We talk about life, what's going on. We talk about John being a DGen. He admits it. He loves gambling. No, isn't it great to have a guy?
Yeah.
I told my bosses at
Truly
Fox,
in it.
I told my guys at Fox Sports Radio, man, I'm just saying, I got a guy on here. I got a guy that talks about every day playing poker, machines, blackjack side bets. He's serious though. He talks about what he has, what he does day to day, and he admits, yeah, it's fun. But I can't win, and I'm chasing. It's just so great to know a guy that's relatable to everyone. By the way, I was that guy. I was a DGen, 40 years ago when I was, 17, 16 years old, 15 years old. My little buddies, we thought we knew everything. We thought we knew the world, going to the racetrack, giving them 25%, going to the casino, not knowing that, roulette was 5.5%, or now it's even up to 8% against you with triple zeros. So now I just know so much more, and I've been schooled so much. But unfortunately, the youth today, and not even the youth, people new to gambling, have been conditioned in such a terrible way by these. How about this? I'll even use like the housewives in their robes and in their pajamas and even their day dresses. They're so conditioned by playing, Candy Crush and stuff and trying to win. Well, now you can do this stuff for money. Oh my God! Now you can play games from not just sports betting. There's the iGaming, which is the total destruction of America. The states that allow it, I think there's 9 states that allow it now. They allow you to play slots and blackjack and all different table games and these games that are similar and draw parallels to the Candy Crushes. You can bet on things explode, like war games, joking around, like fake, like games that kids grew up on as they were kids. You can bet on them now. You can do that now. Oh, let's have fun. Let's have fun. Meanwhile, they're breaking all of America. I'm just telling you. I know I go off on tangents, guys. I apologize. You want to talk a little sports? You want to get? I have a prop. Yeah. I have a prop for you.
Let's do a prop here. So we got MLB huge slate here tonight. You're fresh off of a WNBA winner for the clients with Paige Becker's points over last night. So what are we going? Women's NBA, or are we going to MLB?
Oh man, if I can only have seasons like this every year in the WNBA, and the props I have though. So I just mean in general, WNBA. Let's give you guys a prop. Natasha Howard under 23.5 points, rebounds, assists, -120. Collier's playing tonight in Minnesota. That means a drop in Howard's production. She's up against Golden State. And they give up the least amount of points, rebounds, assists in the WNBA to the 2 forwards anyway. So there's one for you. Natasha Howard under 23.5 points, rebounds, assists. We've run really well in this space also with the free picks for the clients. Just know we have another week of preseason football here. Then we go on to, and of course we have college football, which was very profitable last season. So you guys want to get aboard and join. And like I said, lock up a season, lock up me through the Super Bowl. Just see what we do week in, week out, especially if you didn't get in for preseason yet. We have one more week and get in on these moves. And people have been asking like crazy. I told you last week on the space when the Jets, we took 1.5 and it closed like -6 and moved 7.5 points. Yes. When you have low totals like this, yes, and I never tell you the middle things. I'm not a middle guy. You have the best of it. That's your closing line value. But these totals are so low. There's so little point production that, if we have a pick 'em on a game and it goes to, now I'll tell you, if it goes to 3, yes, but even if it goes to 2.5, where a lot of these games are 1 and 2 are the key numbers, but 3, sure. You want to buy back 50%, put yourself in a position for a middle or a side if it lands 3, or even I seen a preseason game end 13-13 last week. I mean, that can happen too. So, if you want to buy back some, maybe over bet the side and then come back for 50%. I have no problem with you doing that, but always keep more on the hot side. That's how I built my bankroll, actually. Back in the 90s when I started, I was a middler scalper, but then it took like the great Billy Walters to say, "What are you doing, Crack? We have the best of it. Why are you middling games?" Like, but if you don't have the bankroll, and I was building a bankroll, and that's another one. That's another one we're going to have as a guest too. I talked to Billy at the Bet Bash when it was here. I seen him in the sports book, and we'll have Billy Walters on for a show too. I asked him, and he said no problem, Crack. So we'll have him on for a show too.
So more reasons than ever, folks. Hit that subscribe button. Check out Bill Krackomberger at Bill Krackomberger. A great follow on X. Bill, always a pleasure, my friend. Best of luck moving forward.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Dan, stay away from those little strip the whorehouses.
Now I know. Now I know that it's even an option. That's Bill Krackomberger, and again, you got the WNBA free prop. He's got one for clients up on his page, wt.buzz/Krackman.
I'll tell my rich guy hooker story after Steve Merril because I have a good one.
So everybody's got one.
Yeah. K prop. This didn't make the card, but it was really close. Cade Cavalli over 6.5 strikeouts for the Nationals. He's been blistering the last 3 games, 8, 10, and 11. Head to head against Colorado, he had 8 last time. The reason it didn't make the card was when he goes under, he has like 3. Like it's either way under or way over, but he's been wheeling and dealing. So that one didn't make the best one that I have is for my clients. So, but that was a free play that just missed the card. So let's bring in Steve Merril. And Steve, as you would say, that play was
just a bit outside. You stole my thought, man. You and I think so alike. I didn't think you were going to go there. I was about to yell that. That's so great. Dropping. There's a lot of good lines in that movie, though. A lot of good ones.
Yeah. How you doing, Steve? How was your weekend?
Doing well, and I'm looking forward to hearing your story after this segment. So that was a that was a good tease. Andy Lang teased us. Absolutely. That's good, Andy. I pray people watch my segment now because I want to hear the stories. That's good for me too.
100%. Well, they're not here to hear my hooker stories, but we are here to hear you break down a couple of MLB games. You got a couple good ones here. We got the Cubs and Diamondbacks. We got the Phillies and the Mariners. I already said I like the over in the Phillies and Mariners. I'm not too trustworthy of these guys, not give up runs. But let's start with the Cubs and the Diamondbacks. I'll let you break down these two games and tell everyone what you have up at WagerTalk. The floor is yours.
So we have 10 MLB games tonight. I'm going to give you 2 of the 10 free right here on WagerTalk TV. And don't forget, I do have a strong best bet tonight. Also a bonus free play in another late game, Guardians Angels, on my page right now at wagertalk.com. Steve Merril, get there quicker, wt.buzz/SM. All right, let's look at a couple of the other late night games here, free for you on this episode. And we will start in the National League at 9:40 Eastern with Cubs at Diamondbacks. And, don't look now. I'm on the mound. Oh, no, it's 2 R's, 2 L's. Merrill Kelly. He almost got it right. He's pitching tonight. And I don't actually want to be Merrill Kelly. He's not having a good season. Solid the last 2 years. 3.5 ERA last year, 4.0 the year before. Something ain't right this year, though. 5.37 ERA. And another thing that jumps out to me is that he's historically pitched very well against the Cubbies. In fact, over the previous 3 years, he had made 4 starts against the Cubs. He'd given up exactly 4 runs in over 20 innings of work over 4 starts. And then lo and behold, he goes to Chicago back on May 3rd this year and gives up 6 runs, 8 hits in just 4 innings. Now, maybe the wind was blowing out. I'd have to check, but still not a good outing. With that, though, he still has a solid 3.46 career ERA, or at least the last 5 against the Cubs going back over the last 3 years. So we'll see if he has anything left in the tank, but hard to trust Merrill Kelly, as he's been getting hit hard this year. And in 3 of his last 4 starts, he's given up 5 earned runs or more. So it doesn't look like he's turned things around. So I do expect Chicago to get some runs tonight. And boy, did they get some runs yesterday in Seattle. 19 runs they put up against the Mariners. And keep in mind, that is a pitcher-friendly ballpark. That's how hot this offense is. In fact, they put up 28 runs in the 3 games, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, at a pitcher-friendly park where we routinely see over-unders of 7. So, yes, Chicago's offense is red hot. Sometimes teams regress after a 19-2 win, and with the travel and no rest here, that is a concern. But I don't think Merrill Kelly's facing an offense right now that's cooling off. And Arizona's a hitter-friendly ballpark. Gaussman on the mound for the Cubs. He's been mediocre this year, 4.6 ERA, and he's been even actually below average his last 7 starts. In fact, over the last month and a half since early July, right before the All-Star break, 5.4 ERA. So we only really need one of these pitchers to be below average, which they've been all season. And we get a very modest total of 9. I like over 9 here between the Cubs and D-backs. Let's just hope the Cubs don't regress after putting up 19 runs yesterday, but the offense has been red hot. So take a look at over 9 Cubs D-backs at 9:40 Eastern. Now, your other game should be a much lower scoring game. In fact, this is one of the lowest totals of the season, and that's Phillies Mariners, a rare 6.5. It is juiced to the over, -120. But I remember Ralph Michaels ran some numbers for me years ago. It's about 3 years ago. And 8 out of 9 years, if you had just blindly played under 6.5 or less in MLB, you made money. And it goes back to something I talk about in all sports, that the lowest totals go under and the highest totals go over. So let's take a look at this game here and see also if maybe there's some value with the side. We got Zach Wheeler on the mound, laying $1.10 against Gilbert. I just mentioned how the Mariners got shelled yesterday, 19-2 against those Cubbies. Overall, Seattle did win the first 2 games, though, on Friday and Saturday, and they've still won 3 of their last 5. They've been giving up some runs, but they've also been scoring some runs. Before the 2 runs yesterday, Seattle had scored at least 4 runs or more in 4 straight games. And as I said earlier, even though this ballpark is pitcher-friendly, some high-scoring games this past weekend. Phillies, meanwhile, have been putting up some runs as well. They've scored 4 or more now in 8 straight, actually 9 straight, I believe. So it's a very low total, 6.5. I do think both pitchers, though, are going to be pretty good tonight, because if you look at the current numbers for the season, they've both been excellent. Zach Wheeler, 2.9 ERA overall this year. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. And then, of course, not too shabby, Logan Gilbert kind of flying under the radar with a 3.35 ERA. And he's done that 3 straight years now. 3.2 ERA on 208 innings in 2024. Last year, 131 innings, 3.5, 3.4 this year on 150 innings, 3.8 over his last 7 starts. So he's been pretty consistent all season long. The question for me is Wheeler starting to wear down? That 2.9 ERA on the season looks fantastic, but he has a 4.6 ERA over his last 7 starts, and that goes back to the 6 starts since the break and 1 right before. He was actually pretty good in that start before the All-Star break, a 6-inning shutout. But his ERA has been around 5 his last 6 starts since the break. So while Zach Wheeler has good overall seasonal numbers, there is some indication he's starting to wear down here. Mariners, yeah, they got blown out yesterday, but I think it's a nice bounce back spot because of that. And Logan Gilbert's been really good this year. Is actually in better current form. We'll take a look at the Mariners here at even money, a little bit of a live home dog situation. And whenever it's projected to be a low-scoring game, I always think the dogs are live as well. So a little bit of a dog call here with Gilbert and Seattle at even money. That's also at 9:40 Eastern. Now, don't forget, I've got a bonus free play for you. Another game at 9:38 Eastern. Must be in Anaheim. It is. Don't you dare say the California Angels against the Cleveland Indians, because that's not this game. It's the Cleveland Guardians against the LA Angels. 9:38 Eastern. That play is free. And that was truly the last cut, just a bit outside from being a best bet, because I've got one strong client best bet tonight for my clients. It's also on the late West Coast card. So you have plenty of time to get the strong best bet and that bonus free play tonight. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. And while you're there, don't forget, last week of August starting here, which means it's your final chance to buy 3 days and get 3 days free. And it's stackable, which means you can buy multiple buy 3, get 3s and use them for the next several weeks and months. You don't have to worry about it expiring. The purchase expires this week, but you can use those packages for the next several weeks. So stack them. Or if you want a longer-term subscription, the rest of the year, 47% discount still available. Or the best deal, a 1-year all-access with an instant $811 discount. Gets every best bet I release for 365 days and nights. The complete college and pro football seasons, the complete college and pro basketball seasons, the rest of baseball, over half of next year's, for $3 a day, about $1 a play, because you get an instant $811 discount. And as you see on your screen, you get Market Call Live included for free. That's a client-only, exclusive client-only insider call every week, where we'll break down the advanced football games. We'll give you my college and pro football information ahead of the videos, which means you get my NFL Fade the Public video information a couple days in advance. And also my 10,000 game simulation for college football. You can query any games you'd like. It's a one-on-one interactive, whatever you want to ask me. And it's for my 1-year all-access clients only, and it's included for free right now. That alone is worth the price of admission. Plus, you get a full 365 days of best bets. Don't miss out. It works out to about $1 a play on my page right now, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. And hey, get there quicker, WT.buzz/SM. If you're liking these free plays, thumbs up, like, comment below, click subscribe, and click the bell. And you will never miss out this entire baseball and football season when free plays or videos are posted here on WagerTalk TV.
So I used to know this dominatrix. We had to. I was working on this TV show, and we need to hire a dominatrix. So I found one, and because we were working on the set all the time, we got to know her, and she just kind of got into it. And business was, not so much. But then she realized it was the excitement factor for rich guys. So she bought the most ghetto house in the hood and built a dungeon in there, and now dudes from all over the country fly in.
Wow.
Yes. She has basically no local clients. Last time I talked to her, it's all people that fly in. And she was like, it's the danger and excitement. Once I realized it, she was like, I put it like in the, like we went there to meet her. And I was like, I can't believe you get out of your car and walk.
So I mean, it was like dangerous to go to the house. Yeah. That does not fit any kind of excitement for me at all.
And what's crazy though, it kind of coincides. The reason why we're even talking about this was because the 49ers CEO Jed York was arrested for prostitution earlier today, Andy, and they're revealing where it all took place. He was in like the middle of a trailer park when he got picked up.
East Palestine.
So again,
East Palestine, dingy, Ohio. Yes,
so
it's the excitement.
It's starting to line up. This is insane. See, if I'm the 49ers CEO, you have to blame it on the substation. Some way, somehow, you have to say it was the electric substation. It messed with my brain waves. That's what my alibi.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were going to say I dropped him off. Oh, I thought you were going to drop him off at the wrong stop, and he ended up with
no.
the
electric substation messed with his brain waves.
I got
Steve.
you.
That had to be
that definitely is a good defense there. These guys need to bet on sports. You get enough of a rush betting on sports, right? And everyone talks about, treat it as an investment. And I've always said, hey, look, if you want to have fun with it, there's nothing wrong with that. Just be honest with yourself. You're not trying to win. You're just having fun. That's fine. But hey, man, it might keep you out of trouble. It might keep you from getting shot in a dark alley somewhere. So this is a good thing. Legalized sports betting is good for that reason as well, right? Because you used to have to meet people in dark alleys to settle up. So there we go. Sports betting is making the world safer.
Well done.
I just whenever you hear about these super rich guys in press, it's always the ghetto, the trailer park. And it's
I just don't get
they
that.
want to release.
We all grew up with enough middle class, I guess, where I don't need that kind of excitement anymore. I'll tell you that much.
Crazy.
I avoid dangerous spots.
Yeah.
I was also watching. They also binge watch The Wire. HBO has one of the channels. I get on HBO is like a series channel. They just play the entire series over 3 days, and The Wire was on last week, so I ended up watching multiple Wire episodes. That hadn't seemed like a decade, and and I'm not too far from Baltimore, so like that also makes me have zero urge whatsoever to go into a rough neighborhood at night. Risk reward, baby. I'm all about risk reward.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
I can just imagine Steve doing the famous quote at the end. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a gangster. Maybe
that's true. Maybe.
All right, Steve Merril. Thanks for joining us. Great
Thanks,
breakdowns. Continued success, Steve
Thanks,
Merril,
Steve.
breaking it down. So, yeah, I'll just say WagerTalk Andy is a very different person.
The stories. If you're
know.
ever out at a sports book and Andy's around, just ask him to tell you some stories. The stories that would just blow your mind, man. I love the Andy Lang stories.
All right, well, let's close out the show with our NFL future. It's quarterback Monday. So we'll take a look at who we are going to be breaking down this week. Today, we're going to do Tyler Shough for the Saints over under 20.5 passing touchdowns. Tomorrow, DJ Moore. Oh, I got to fix that graphic. He's with the Buffalo Bills now. 824.5 receiving. I got to change that. Chase Brown over under 5.5 rushing touchdowns. The Jaguars over under 8.5 wins. Viewer's choice. Let me know in the comment section, live chat, whatever. Just let me know what you want us to break down on Friday, and we'll put that up. But let's talk Tyler Shough here. Interesting total here, 20.5 passing touchdowns. I'll give you the notes that I had last year, 11 games, 10 passing touchdowns, 91.3 QBR. I don't think there was a lot of faith that this was going to be the guy, but I think he outplayed expectations. I think the Saints have their guy. I like them. The receiving depth chart is a little rough at this point. We got Chris Olave, but we got Jordan Tyson that is hurt. And by the way, this is now a real thing with Jordan Tyson. This is just ongoing, like, soft tissue injuries with him. Then it falls off. We got Devon Vele, Juwan Johnson, Alvin Kamara is hurt now. Travis Etienne is the running back. The offensive line, they struggled last year. They were one of the worst in the league, and PFF has them rated higher. They think they made some good adjustments here. PFF has them ranked 16th. The schedule, I think, sets up well for some shootouts at Detroit, at Baltimore, home to Raiders. That's how they start their season. Only one potential cold weather game I see on this, and at Cincy, November 29th. That could be perfectly fine here. You're pretty worried about this receiving core, Dan.
Yes.
I don't blame you.
Here's my worries, because first look, Andy, it's a math problem, right? This is a quarterback who, for all intents and purposes, seems pretty capable. I don't think he earns this job, and I know he's not fighting with anyone else, but they would have went elsewhere. They would have went into the offseason market. Maybe you bring in a Kyler Murray, something like that, if you didn't believe in what you have in Tyler Shough. And clearly Kellen Moore, who is regarded as a bit of a quarterback whisperer, believes in this guy. So take injury concern out of it. This is a pass-first offense that whether they have a lead or not, they will be passing. And if they're trailing in games, like some people expect them to be, they will be passing as well. Then you look at the depth chart for this team, and you wonder, who the hell is he going to throw 21 passing touchdowns to? And if you like Tyler Shough to go over this number, you have to also like Juwan Johnson to go over his season-long touchdowns. You have to like Chris Olave to finally have a bounce-back year. So on its face, Andy, I lean towards the over. I'm certainly not making a case for the under that doesn't involve, oh, he gets injured, which you could say about any single player prop here. So I think this guy is capable. He's in a pass-first offense. Kellen Moore has given guys like Dak Prescott and Herbert, I'm not saying he's in that class, but he's giving guys like that their absolute best career years. Kellen Moore, year 2, he wants to take a step forward. He wants to implement more of his offense. So 20.5, Andy, I could only look towards the over. The only part that concerns me is who the hell does he throw 21 passing touchdowns to? But hey, there's still players in the NFL, man.
I'm with you. I like the over, and then I'm going, what is Olave going to catch 14 touchdown passes this year? Like, is Juwan Johnson going to catch 8? Like, where do they come from? But I'm with you. This number just feels too low. I thought he showed real promise. I think some of these games, I mean, at Detroit, that's a potential 3 touchdown, like 3 passing touchdown. You don't need too many of those to get
Zamir White season loading.
I saw they traded for White, and I was like, Rashad White, that's pretty good, but Zamir White, man. So Brady, you said the Saints defense is solid. They won't be in many high scoring games. I don't know. At Detroit feels like a shootout. So I'm just gonna take the over blindly. I believe in the coaching staff. I believe in his talent. And there's just going to be a lot of random guys with like 1 and 2 touchdown passes at the end of the year. So I'm a believer.
You got games against, like the Oakland Raiders who, Saints defense will be solid. However, Kellen Moore isn't a, hey, let's run the ball out and or let's run the clock out. He's a we're going to keep passing the ball. It's what we do as an offense. You get to play a Raiders defense. You get to play a Browns defense. You get to play a Panthers defense. You get to play a Bengals defense that should be improved. You get a Cardinals defense on this schedule. So there are potential 3 touchdown pass games for Tyler Shough on this schedule. And last year, what did you say, Andy? It was, I think, 11 games that he saw action in and had half of this total already. And when no one believed in him either. So I like the counterpoints by Brandon. We appreciate the comments. That's why we love your live comments. Keep them coming before, after the video. We love seeing them. And we got a question. We get some Steelers props. Maybe that could be a viewer's choice. Comment below. Let us know.
Yeah, we'll do Steelers on Friday.
Okay, we'll do some Steelers stuff for you Friday, Nate. Thanks.
Gotcha. All right, thanks for joining us, guys. I got to run. Dan, I had something funny happen this morning. Production company, we get a call from Indy 11. That's pretty cool for us. And they're like, hey, we need to rent a stage for Oktoberfest. And I was like, okay, when is it? And she was like, September 5th. I was like, this business, man.
Get to work. Go get to work, Andy.
September 5th. This business,
That's how
man.
it goes.
So, all right. Hit the like button. Drop a comment below. Appreciate you guys. Thank you to all the guests. $5 Tuesday is tomorrow, but we can put plays up tonight. My Contender Series play probably will be up tonight, but more important, the MLB best bet goes off tonight. Let's start the week off with a winner. Good luck on your bets. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care.